And we are live on an NFL Sunday. You know, we had a special NFL Saturday. We had a couple big games yesterday. We'll be talking about those, but we're also going to talk about what's going forward for all these teams fighting for that playoff spot. Welcome to Sports Wars. I'm Ryan Kenna with RK Outpost and geeksandgamers.com, and I'm really excited to be here. I have with me, rushing home from Disneyland just for this stream, or Disney
Just
World.
for Ryan, man. Just for Ryan.
Just so I wouldn't be alone, we have Jay, a.k.a. Drunk 3PO. What's going on, brother?
What's happening? I didn't see any games on Saturday. I didn't see the scores, though. And, man, I heard the Patriots game was kind of intense.
Yeah, you know, the Patriots, they are not looking – I think that's pretty – yeah, they were not dominant. I think that's pretty clear that they are different. And that Buffalo Bills team is we've said it the past couple of weeks that they are better than any of us really thought they were going to be. And so it was a good game. We had three pretty good games, to be honest with you. One wasn't necessarily because of how well Houston played, but more how bad Jameis Winston played. But we will get to that. The Drunken Pixels show, says Alex McCarthy.
Is it? Am I really pixelated?
No, he's talking about me.
Oh, about you. Oh, I got you.
Yeah. But we do have a super chat right off the bat. Sir Ruin of House Roundhead, who's always supporting Sports Wars. Thank you, sir.
Always.
For $4.99. I hope the Ravens lock up the number 1 seed today in the AFC. I think the AFC Championship game will be Ravens-Patriots in Baltimore. What about you? Man, I don't know if the Patriots are going to get there. I can't believe I'm saying this. You know, are the Patriots going to be able to beat the Chiefs? That's what I'm looking at right now.
They're going to need home field.
Yeah, and the Patriots are, I think they're going to be solid. I forget who their last game of the season is. Is it Miami?
I don't know.
I don't remember. They often struggle with Miami for some reason.
Yeah.
But I'll have to take a look at that because I kind of forget. But Apollo Patriot is in the chat talking about the Saints. He's all about the Saints. But thank you for that super chat, Sir Ruin. I think that if I was a betting man, I guess I'd take that, but I'm scared for the Patriots. That's probably why Jeremy's not here today, if I had to guess. He, even though his Patriots won, he knows that it's over, so he's just kind of done. That's my guess. But
they Patriots they're hard to read, man. I've seen them throughout the years. You know, you think they have bad seasons, and it's just like one missed kick, and then one missed field goal, and it sends them right back to the Super Bowl. So someone in the chat, Miami is the last game. Miami, people are going to be playing in Miami just for their jobs next year. That's pretty much so. And if New England needs to win to get home field, it could be a pretty competitive game. So, but if New England wraps up home field advantage before that game, it won't even be worth watching, honestly.
Yeah. So. Well, and speaking of that playoff picture, right now we did get a pretty definitive thing happen last night. We had a pretty definitive thing happen last night. We had a big game, the night game. Somebody asked in the chat, can someone tell me why the 49ers game was yesterday? Well, when we get to this time of year and college football is into bowl season instead of the regular, your regularly scheduled Saturday games, the NFL would really like to be relevant 4 days a week. Well, not relevant. Dominating 4 days a week instead of just Thursday, Sunday, and Monday. So they have a couple big games on Saturdays. And that's exactly what they did. They had 3 really good games. So we'll talk about that first one because I mentioned it, but 49ers Rams, an absolutely great game. Went back and forth. The Rams looked like they had, Rams went down and tied it up with about 2 minutes left. Yeah. And the 49ers, Jimmy Garoppolo threw a bomb to Emmanuel Sanders, who happened to just be running wide open down the field somehow. I saw
highlights. Like, what the heck, man? Freaking game's on the line.
I don't know how that happened. It sucks. It sucks for the Rams, to end up going out that way, but I don't think they've really had a chance to make it anyway. They were going to need a lot of help from the Vikings. I think they're going to need the Vikings to lose out. They would have to win out, and a couple of things would happen. But
it's such a weird time of the year when there's people holding on to pipe dreams. Trust me, I know. for years. You would get close, and they'd be like, "Well, Miami can make it if 8 teams lose, this team ties, and this guy scores 4 points, and the kicker misses a punt, and this coach gets fired. Then Miami might make the playoffs." And you're always like hoping.
Yeah.
You ever see those ridiculous scenarios on how a team can make the playoff if so-and-so ties, but then this guy does this, and then, oh, man, it's like.
That's true. And then there's even more stuff. There's like, because I was looking pretty deep into it one year because the Bears were right there, looking at a wild card spot. And I was looking at all the tiebreakers, and it goes by how many points you scored that year, how many points you allowed that year. There's some really deep tiebreakers. They don't often have to get into that, but it truly does. Every point matters, even in a blowout win. So if it gets to that point, you never know. You'd hate to be the dude who puts in your backup quarterback, in the fourth quarter, and don't score any points, and then you end up losing by that tiebreaker.
I know.
Right.
I know it's bizarre.
Yeah, but with that game, not only do the 49ers stay in control of the NFC West over the Seattle Seahawks, but the Rams get eliminated from the playoffs. Yeah. So for the first time in Sean McVay's career, which isn't very long, I think this is only his third year as a coach, but a lot of people saw bigger things from the Rams this year. They thought they were going to continue that that high flying, efficient offense that is so unique. I thought it was really unique because they're running so many things out of an 11 package. An 11 package being 1 running back, 1 tight end, and 3 wide receivers. They run like 95% of their stuff out of that, which is so crazy for the NFL these days.
But do you think the NFL's think they just caught up with them and just figured out their offense?
Yeah, and I think Jared Goff,
they're like, if we do these 3 things right, we could like slow their offense down.
I think
a certain defense here, certain defense there. If you see this, you see that, and it kind of slows them down a little bit. But
yeah,
it happens. Look, when Robert Griffin III came out of the league, his first year with Washington, everyone was like, he's going to be the next this. He was unstoppable. And then it seemed like the league just figured him out. They just kind of figured out the way he throws, how he looks down the field, how he does this, how he does. Plus the injury, don't get me wrong, but it was just really weird because in the next year he just, you talk about a fall from heaven, man.
Yeah,
it was bad. Like it was bad. So
yeah, and I think that's part of it. Jared Goff, I think he's got a lot of money now, but definitely he's I don't think he's this top tier talent. I think that's pretty clear at this point. Especially if you get just a little pressure on him. It's pretty clear that he's not this incredible dude, especially when Gurley has kind of been banged up and limited all year. And he hasn't seemed as dynamic as he has before. People got to be really worried about his knees. He got big money too. So the Rams got some work going on.
It's amazing how big contracts sometimes makes players step back a little bit.
Right.
I got my money now. I don't want to hurt myself no more for the I guess I don't understand because I was never a player, but it's just it looks that way at times. Not everyone. At times.
Yeah. David Fredrickson says, sounds like the Lambs failed for the same reason Crapadick failed. The league picks up their tails and they're unable to improve.
Yeah, that's why I was saying, if you don't adapt or change things up, they just pick up how you read the field, how the quarterback can look down the field. It's amazing how they're professionals, man. Like people pick up like even little hand motions, So it's really weird. They're like, if you see him like cock like this, he's getting ready to throw it. So like you look for those things, and it's unbelievable.
Yep. And then so we already talked about the other game a little bit, Patriots and Bills. It was at Patriots at New England, and it was a close game. Patriots ended up winning 24-17. They do take control of that AFC North, so it does look like Buffalo is going to be a wild card team, which. Right now they're 10-5.
Yeah, they won the East. So the East is they have to have a wild card if they AFC East champions again. What is that, like 15 years in a row?
Well, they Miami won. When Brady got hurt that one year. When the Patriots still end up going like 11-5 or something. But that was the year of the Wildcat, I do believe. Yeah. But yeah, since then, I'm pretty sure they've won all of them. And so again, we talk about the Patriots every week, how they're not as strong as a lot of people would like them to be. And that's just the story. We're going to see if they can manage. Their defense is solid, but they just don't have really any weapons. Brady's dinking and dunking to his guys. That's how they're going to do it. But they really have no big threat between Gronk retiring, Antonio Brown being a nutcase, and Josh Gordon getting hurt and on drugs again. They just have no one. And then another big game that happened yesterday that had some playoff implications for the AFC South. Houston beats the Bucks 23-20. But really, it's kind of embarrassing for Houston because did you happen to see Jameis Winston at all? I saw yesterday?
The highlights. He just checked out.
Yeah, Jameis Winston threw for like 350 yards, 1 touchdown, and 4 picks.
Yeah.
Jameis Winston is on pace to be the first person ever to throw for 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions in a year. The dude is just going to throw it up there. He's just putting it up for grabs. If his dudes make a play, then they do. If not, then they don't.
That's how it is, man. It's like a 50-50. Yeah, you're right. That's it. He's just going to throw it up there. That's how it is.
And someone said he's the equivalent of like backyard football. He's going to throw it up there, and somebody's going to make a play, and his team just has to make more plays than the other guys.
Yeah.
And they're somehow like 500 right now. Bruce Arians has done I don't know if anyone's going to say he's done a good job. I'm surprised they're 500. I'll say that.
Watching Tampa like this, that's the home team here in Orlando. And they just always play well at home. It's just one of those things they get hyped up for. So Winston always exposes himself. It's weird. Winston, when the game is going easy for him, he plays well. I don't know how, it's just what it is. But you're right. If he has to like come back from behind and all that, his pressure game is not that good. So, yeah. But when things are flowing, his game looks wonderful. It's just so weird how players are. I mean, I guess that's just how it is. How players are like that. So, but a little pressure on him, man. That's all they try to do, and you'll see what happens.
When we got Lethal Lightning in the chat talking about Adelaide Crows, I think he's talking cricket or something, maybe soccer, maybe rugby. He's Australian, so I think it has to be one of those things.
They don't call it soccer there, though, do they?
Well, probably football. I would say maybe he thinks we're talking football. So, but and I guess the last thing on Jameis Winston, we're about to talk about the Titans here, talk about the games upcoming today, and you're looking at Jameis Winston and Marcus Mariota, the number 1 and number 2 draft picks from, was it 2013, 2014, whenever it was. They're going to be looking for new places. I've heard rumors that Tampa Bay might still bring back Winston. I guess you can, but you know what this dude is. He's never going to be anything other than what he is right now. So
unless they surround him with like unbelievable skilled people, that's just he'll be average Joe. I mean, he'll be average Jameson Winston.
average James.
Yeah, that's it.
Look, Australians call it soccer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Nice.
I did not know that, so thanks for teaching me.
We're learning so much about the world around us. All right. So we might as well to get to the one of the big games today, and that is Saints. So Apollo Patriot, Saints. I know you're a Saints fan. Versus the Tennessee Titans. So it is at Tennessee. The Titans need to win to keep the pressure on Houston. I think they're actually probably eliminated with Houston's win. I think Houston might have clinched. Now that I think about it that way. But yeah, the Texans have clinched a playoff spot with their win last night. But and they also clinched the division. So that's done. The AFC division is done. It's Ravens, Patriots, Chiefs, and Texans are the winners. But they're still fighting for that playoff spot. So what do you think is going to happen in this game? Saints just, their offense was on fire last week. Drew Brees would set the record for, what is it called? Set the record for most touchdown passes in the history of the NFL. So congratulations to Drew Brees.
Yeah.
Where do you see this game going?
I think I was 100% on my predictions last week, which is pretty good.
I think you missed something.
No, I think I was 100. That was 2 weeks ago. I missed one, but I made some bold predictions. Anyway, I'm going for Tennessee. Write it down.
Now, why is that?
Tennessee Titans have more to play for. Saints are 11-3. I don't know, man. I think the Titans are just trying to prove everything, and they're just going to go out and shock the world. It's a shocker, but I think they can put up enough points at home to beat the Saints. It will be. That's like my underdog pick of the day. But
your boy Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, I'm cheering for him, man. I'm cheering for him.
You know,
I think the Saints have more to like they would have more to lose on injuries and stuff like that than than not missing the playoffs and stuff. So I think it'll be a little different, but we'll see. Saints, like according to this article, Saints have won and covered 5 straight road games over the past 2 seasons. So they're 10-3 on the road. Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
However, Tennessee is 4-2 as a home underdog. It'll be interesting. That'll be the game I'll watch, and we'll see.
It is going to be interesting. You know, Saints are playing for a bye. That's what they're looking for.
Yeah. They probably will win. I'm just saying. They probably will win, but I'm going to say Tennessee shocks some people. So,
well, and one thing to keep in mind, especially for you fantasy football players out there, which I haven't been keeping as close eye on fantasy as I should been. But that being said, I'm in 2 championship games this week, and Derrick Henry got scratched basically in the middle of the night last night. He is not going to play, which is huge. He's been a monster for them this year. Dion Lewis is going to start. So if you haven't picked up Dion Lewis yet, I would highly recommend it. He's going to start. He's going to get the majority of the work. They got a couple practice squad players up, but Dion Lewis is going to be the guy for this.
Why did they bench the other guy? Hurt?
Oh, Derrick Henry is hurt. Yeah, he's been trying to get over a hamstring issue, and he wasn't even on the injury report on Friday. And then he just did something to tweak it, I guess. And he's not going to play. Man,
that could change my prediction then.
Yeah. So that is something to keep in mind. Tannehill's still playing well. That offense is still clicking. They're not going to have that power run game. They're going to do a lot more quick throws to Dion, I would assume. But hopefully he can rack up some points for me.
Yeah, that might change. That changes everything. Well, better to have them healed up and ready to go if they really come down to the wire.
Yeah, they got to win out, though. I mean, they really do.
That's true.
Because right now, you've got this playoff spot where the Titans are on the outside looking in. The Steelers are also 8-6. Titans are 8-6. The Browns and the Raiders are still alive technically, but both the Titans and the Steelers would need to lose out for them to win, and then they would have to win out. I don't really see that happening, but they've still got an outside shot. But speaking of the Browns, like Sir Ruiner House Roundhead said, we do have Ravens at Browns. Again, Browns fighting for their playoff lives. The Ravens trying to lock up that number 1 seed. And the Browns have just been a damn mess this year. But I think a lot of people expected they would be a disaster, but we thought that they'd be a winning disaster.
Yeah,
we thought there'd be a lot of drama and a lot of Odell Beckham stuff and a lot of Baker Mayfield stuff. But all of us, I think, thought that they would just be better.
Yeah. I mean, even with the 2 wide receivers, Laundry, sorry, and I'm tired. And Odell Beckham, you would think he would just be able to throw the ball down the field. He'd be able to do a Jameis Winston and just kind of throw the ball down the field. But I mean, he's got no protection, and they had the speed, but I thought the team would be a lot better.
I just think the play calling has been so bad.
Gave up. Like they just gave up.
Well, it's clear that I've said it a couple times. Freddie Kitchens is not an NFL head coach. He's never even been an NFL coordinator before. Their play calling is totally whack. He has no presence. The only place that Freddie Kitchens feels like he belongs is in the drive-thru of McDonald's. I don't know. It's not even necessarily his
How did he even
fault.
get that job, though?
That's what I mean. It's not even necessarily his fault. I don't think, I definitely agree with you. He just shouldn't have got this job. Especially not if you have maybe a mature team. I can see giving it to a dude like this who's unproven. Look at McVay. Sean McVay is a young guy. That doesn't mean that he wasn't ready for the job he has, but he has a commanding presence and can control that locker room, control that team. Freddie Kitchen just seems like a pushover to me.
Yeah. I wonder if they're going to do a clean house again. Whew. I mean, how many times are they going to do that with the Browns?
I don't know, man.
That's crazy.
I can't imagine.
Does Odell stay with the team next year? I don't know if he was much of a problem. They haven't really.
No, he hasn't been like a problem. Not the way we thought he would be.
Voice frustration. So,
no, I think that it's going to be a tough decision for him. It's going to depend on the money they want to give him. I know Jarvis Landry and him are really good bros. They obviously go back to LSU playing together. So that may be a big thing for him. You also got to think whenever you're trying to recruit free agents or get people to sign with you, where you're at. Cleveland, I've been to Cleveland, man. No offense, Cleveland. Nobody wants to go there. Joakim Noah for the Chicago Bulls said it really well one time. Like, what the hell's in Cleveland? A bunch of factories? All right. Nobody wants to go there. We don't want to go there. And it is just kind of a boring place. So
I think
why
they love their sports franchise, because there's nothing else to do out there. There's nothing else to do out there. That's why LeBron was king and always will be king for giving them a championship, so because there's nothing else out there.
Yeah, for sure. Those guys
That's the thing, like Miami, like where I live, when I was living in Miami, they had sporting events. People would always show up late because everyone was always doing something else.
Yeah, it's totally like Southern California too. Yeah. You always see it LA. Whenever you're watching a Lakers or a Clippers game, but Lakers game, people are always walking in like halfway through the second quarter, and they get up and leave halfway through the third.
Yeah, we got other stuff we want. There's restaurants we want to go to. There's the parties. There's all kinds of stuff. That's the thing in Miami. Like, if you leave the game, you want to get to like there's a whole like out on the beach. They celebrate like the teams, but you want to get there early. Because if your team wins, you get they give away like free appetizers and stuff like that. So people leave the games early to get a good seat at these restaurants,
right?
Before the game's out. Because if you wait till the game's out, you won't get a seat. So it's like it's that's just how it is. But yeah, Cleveland. That's about it.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. Personally, I'm playing against Lamar Jackson in one of my games. I would really like it if he had a bad game. I would love it if the Browns could do something to limit him. No one's been able to stop him basically all year. But I'm picking the Ravens. I know the Browns got a lot to play for, but the Ravens are rolling right now. That's just kind of how it is. That's my pick.
Ravens are gonna kill them.
Yeah,
crush their souls, man. This could be the coach change game that we man. If the Browns figure out how to win this game, everyone will stay till next year. Watch.
Yeah, we'll see what'll happen. We'll see. Freddie Kitchens may be the Jack Dorsey has Freddie Kitchens there as a placeholder, and maybe has his eye on somebody else that he think may be available. Ron Rivera is going to be available. That's a name that I'm sure he'll be interested in. You always hear the same names like Bill Cowher and people have retired that have like much easier lives now that don't want to deal with this shit anymore.
I know.
So we'll see.
It's also them older coaches, man, don't want to deal with this type of league where you got these prima donna stuff that like you can't even yell at the players anymore and all.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
About them getting all upset and all that. They don't. It's a different time. You need a special coach to figure out how to harness all that stuff. So that's both our picks. Ravens. We'll see if the Browns can pull an upset. We have another game. Talking about that wild card, the Steelers, who are in command right now.
They're playing the Jets. They are playing the Jets at New York. So you can actually see the background of this background picture we have right here is MetLife Stadium. So this one is going to be in New York, and the Steelers again have their third string quarterback. Duck Hodges is going to be playing, who has played well for them. As well as you can reasonably expect a third string.
Yeah, exactly. For a third string, that's pretty good.
And and talking about talking about coaching, I think Mike Tomlin has done a great job this year with everything that team has lost, keeping them relevant. To be honest, I think maybe the organization would rather just have tanked because they're not going to be able to do anything in the playoffs. Like that's just a fact that they're not going to be able to compete. They don't have the personnel right now to do that. But what Mike Tomlin's been able to do the past several years with Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell both there, who have both gone their separate ways. Antonio Brown is going to be lucky being in jail or something. Like he's crazy. And then Le'Veon Bell has not been a huge problem for the Jets, who they're playing, but the other night he got scratched for having the flu, and instead of being at home and resting, he went out bowling in the middle of the night. So, a locker room issue there.
What priorities are.
Yeah, how do you see this game playing out?
I think the Jets are going to get destroyed. I don't think they're that good. I think they have fluke games. They beat Miami by a lucky field goal, but that's not saying anything. I think the Steelers are going to pop them in the face. Steelers going to win, no problem.
Yeah, and I think next week the Steelers play the Ravens. If I'm not wrong in that, so that's going to be a tough game, but we'll see if the Ravens, how it plays out, what the schedule's like, if the Ravens have anything to necessarily play for. If they've already locked up that one seed. Jennifer, why does everyone talk about the Browns nonstop? Newsflash, we don't give a shit about the shit Browns. Well, they're playing the Ravens, who can lock up the number one seed. And they're a train wreck. So it's fun to talk about a train wreck.
I don't know. That comment struck me funny. It struck me funny. Man.
But yeah, so the Steelers definitely need to win this to keep Tennessee on the wayside. But we'll see what happens. You're picking that game, Steelers destroy them?
I do.
Yeah, I would say I think the Jets are going to give up more of a fight than a lot of people think. Obviously, they did get destroyed last week. I think that team with Sam Darnold at quarterback is a little bit different than the team when they had like Nick Folk and all these other people at quarterback the first 5 games when Sam Darnold had mono. And Sam Darnold is inexperienced. He's young. He's not consistent, but I do think he's got something to him that he does come out and want to compete. They got a good thing going with Jamison Crowder. If they can just get Le'Veon Bell more involved.
Yeah, somehow if they tweak that, it would be a different game. It definitely would be different. So, I mean, look at the spread here. It's like it's 50-50. One guy's got the Jets, the other guy's got Steelers.
Yeah.
They got it really close, though.
Well, I mean, you look at the Steelers, they're playing with a third string quarterback. Like they've got their struggles. James Conner's been hurt all year. They got a bunch of people on defense hurt. That's tough for them. That's why I said Tomlin's done a great job this year to get them to where they are. But we've got a quote fan of quote, will Saturday football become the norm in the future? I don't think so, man. NFL Sunday is.
Yeah, they own a day of the week.
Yeah.
They always play Saturday games, though, like at this time of year. They always throw in Saturday games in December.
And in the playoffs, too. In the playoffs.
I heard that's why. I heard it gets people remembering that there's going to be Saturday playoff games, stuff like that. So they just start adding Saturday games to kind of get into the rotation. It's like feeding the algorithm, I guess. Yeah. So, but I think football is popular enough that people wouldn't forget. But if that's true. And
why not? Like, if you can, and they can, dominate 4 days out of 7. And that's what they're doing, because you got Thursday night, Monday night, Saturday, and Sunday. all NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And especially with bowl games right now, a lot of the bowl games people don't really care about in college football. They're highly driven by if your team is in them or not. There's some that people just aren't interested in. So
I lost interest in bowl games when they started handing out the Ruffles Chips Bowl and the Chocolate Milk Bowl and the
Nestle.
Like everyone's in a bowl game. This guy's only won one game. Let's put him in the Home Depot clearance section bowl. So
you still have to win 6 games. You got to win
half your games. I got to say, there's just so many bowl games out there now.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
I like watching the playoffs. The college playoffs are always. I mean that I thought that was a great idea. So, but
yeah. So on the next really important game that is, likely that is going to decide here the fate of the NFC. What is it? NFC East. You've got Cowboys and Eagles. Both teams are 7-7. It is at Eagles. So what are your initial thoughts? One of these teams is going to be in the playoffs somehow. The other team is going to get eliminated. I think that there's a good chance that one of these teams that they're going to finish 8-8, and we're going to have a 500 team win their division, which is sad. Especially when, it's going to be really sad for the Seattle Seahawks, who are probably going to be like 12-4 or something, have a wild card spot and might have to play at Dallas or at Philadelphia.
Yeah. I know. Isn't that weird? That's weird. The Eagles they have been extremely shaky all year. They've shown signs of greatness, but then they've shown like signs where they are just not together whatsoever. And Carson Wentz, it seems like he doesn't have any time to throw the ball. Like the games that I've watched for Philadelphia, he's just like wants to, and he's got to let go of the ball, or he's just running for his life. And I hate to say it, man, I'd rather cheer for the Eagles, but I think Dallas is going to win. I think Dallas is consistent in their not being that great, but they're consistent in what they do. The Eagles are so like I said, they show signs of great, like really like, okay, this is the Eagles that we know. And then they show signs of like, who the heck are these people out on the field? So if the Cowboys like are able to like get at Wentz early and just kind of pop him a few times, then I think that they're going to win this game. So
yeah, we'll see. Wentz has been he's been such a disappointment for a lot of people there, I think.
Sorry, man, I'm starving. I'm like eating my.
No, you're good, man. You're good. Wentz has been so inconsistent for them, and after he had that second, or was it his second season, where he had basically an MVP type season before he got hurt with a couple weeks left, and Nick Foles went on to do what he did. I think that so many people expected that from him when he came back, and he just hasn't been that dude.
There's been some weird reports coming out of Philadelphia that there's like locker room issues with him and other players. And I mean, I don't know if any of that is true, but he's supposed to be the guy in Philadelphia, but Philadelphia just like released a giant like statue of Nick Foles.
Yeah.
What I mean? It's like Nick Foles is everywhere and he's supposed to be the guy. So there's like constant comparisons. Like, Nick Foles got us the Super Bowl and you didn't. You wonder how much that weighs on him or anything like that. If there's locker room issues or anything like that, it's just causing like teams not to gel really well. That Super Bowl year they won the Super Bowl, that team was just like everybody was everybody's best friend. It was such an amazing they even wrote a book about that season, which is actually a great read. And they just gel, and that's so important for teams, man, to like come together. If you don't come together and everybody's just doing their own thing, like you said, like you got Bell out there playing like bowling. And you don't care about the team if that's what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like you're not out doing like if you're out just caring about what you want to do, then you don't care about the team, and your team it's not gelling like it is. So, and that's another reason why I think Patriots are always successful, is because if you don't fall in line with what's going on, they just get rid of you. They just get rid of you.
For the most part,
they
yeah.
They don't even care who you are. They're just like, yeah, well, you stayed out late. All right, well, you got to go. So it's just
it's zero tolerance for the most part up there. It's a totally different atmosphere.
It is. Then when you got people that just do whatever they want, but then your mind, like the team's mindset is, this is the most talented player we have, and then the player knows that, so they're like, I can do whatever I want. But then the team won't punish them because like we need them on the field to win. Because if we lose, I might lose my job. It's just like it's a mess. There's no gelling, man. It's just it don't help.
We talked to Uche the other day about that. When he was talking about how somebody stayed out late the night before and they ended up suspending him for the game, and they lost that game.
Yeah,
and it was a dude who thought he was above everything.
Yeah.
Thought that maybe they'll fine me, but they're not going to suspend me. I'm too important to the team. And even the Jags came down hard and and suspended him. So. Yeah, it's we'll see. This game here,
Dallas probably will win this game. I think there's just too much going on, and I don't want Dallas to win this game. I don't. I want the Eagles to win. I don't like Dallas at all. But
I think when you look at again how healthy the teams are, when you look at Philadelphia, they are banged up.
Oh yeah,
they're so thin at wide receiver. They're banged up at running back. Their line's banged up. Their D's banged up. Like they're not healthy. The Cowboys, although they've been a disappointment in a lot of ways, and that's like the definition of when you look at Jason Garrett and think about his career as a head coach, you could say disappointment or clapping, one or the other. When you look at the Cowboys, they're healthy. That is one thing you can say about them. For the most part, they have remained pretty healthy. So I think that's going to be big for them going forward. I do think they're going to win this game, and they will clinch the NFC East if they win. But it's going to be an uphill struggle. It's in Philadelphia, not the easiest place to go into play, especially as the Dallas Cowboys.
Someone will have to step up and make a play. I mean, that's just that. I mean, that you can say that about any team, but they're so even, and their terribleness.
Yeah.
They're so bad, like on the same level. Like that's just how that's how it is. So someone will have to step out of that badness for just maybe a couple plays, and then that'll be the difference in the game. So
yeah, and for the record, if the Cowboys win, they do clinch. If the Eagles win, it does shift. It goes on to next week. If the Cowboys win and the Eagles were to lose the next week, then the Cowboys would end up taking it home anyway.
Yeah. It's so crazy. It's crazy that an 8-8 team, a possible 8-8 team could have a home field playoff game in the playoffs.
Yeah, and I mean that's what I would do if I were them. I clinch, might as well sit everybty. They're not moving up anywhere.
Exactly. So, what's the point?
They're not going to catch. They're not going to catch Seattle for the next while, or you're not going to catch the Saints for the next spot up. Like they're locked in at the 4 seed.
So Dallas loses. Does Garrett get fired this year?
Well, they would still be able to win the next week. But if they miss the playoffs, are you asking if they miss the playoffs? I don't know. I've been saying yes for so long. At this point, I don't know. Does Jerry want to go after a guy like Ron Rivera?
Yeah, Ron Rivera will be working somewhere.
Oh yeah. Does Jerry want that, or does he want someone there like Jason Garrett who he can control?
Exactly.
If you bring someone like Ron Rivera, he's not just going to let you do whatever you want. He's going to want to be involved. He's going to want a say. So I think that that's going to be a factor in Jerry's decision. It's all whether he wants to give up any semblance of control or whether he just wants a guy to be a puppet on the field who's clapping. Because that's what Jason Garrett is.
Control Jimmy Johnson, but look what they did. That's what I'm saying. Like it's so sad that egos got in the way of. He probably could have won like 2 more Super Bowls if he had just shut up and let Jimmy Johnson run the team back then, way back when.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very true. That's very true.
Way back when. But that egos, man, they destroy everything. Pride comes before destruction.
Jennifer asked, what are your predictions for the conference championship matchups? We talked about a little earlier. We talked about AFC, how both of us would probably bet. If we had to bet, we'd bet on Ravens Patriots.
Yeah.
However, the Patriots are so shaky right now. Are they going to be able to beat the Chiefs? Are they going to be able to put up enough points to beat the Chiefs this time around? I don't know. That's going to be tough. That's going to be tough to say.
Well, I think 49ers is going to win. I would love to see the 49ers versus Patriots just because I want Garoppolo to beat
You mean in the Super Bowl?
Yeah. Just because I want him to beat his old team. I thought that would be fitting.
That would be interesting.
You're back up, buddy. And now look at me. Look at me now.
that would be the ultimate. And Garoppolo he started off a little slow this year. He's really come on here as of late. And now that George Kittle's back, not necessarily healthy, but he's back. Emmanuel Sanders is there now. They are rolling. I do think for the NFC, it's going to be interesting because Seattle's probably going to have that 5th wild card spot. So right now, the way the matchups would roll out is say Dallas wins and Dallas gets the 4 seed. They will play Seattle. Seattle will have to go to Dallas and play them. If Seattle wins, that sets up in the next round, unless the other wild card spot. So unless Minnesota wins their game, you're looking at Minnesota would play the Saints. Unless Minnesota wins their game, you're looking at a Seattle Seahawks versus San Francisco 49ers in the divisional matchup, which isn't really fair because you could argue those are the 2 best teams. They're going to have to play each other. Not the easiest matchup for a number 1 seed to end up with if they end up with having to face the 5 seed. So my prediction would be Saints and 49ers. That's what I'll say for the NFC Championship.
Wow.
Because I think the Saints are better than the Packers, even if the Packers do hold on to that number 2 seed.
I don't even see the Packers out of the first round.
Well, they're going to have a bye probably, so yeah. But yeah, they would probably play, if everything holds, they would play the Saints. If who we kind of expect to win wins.
Yeah. I got 49ers taking the whole thing.
There you go.
49ers. Ruthie.
Everyone
this is Jason Garrett. Can't wait to see him clap back. He might clap back. Hey,
Jennifer, that's literally all he does is clap. So I mean, I would assume he'll be ready. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the players. I don't know. Dallas is just, they are who they are, man. They're a little bit above average.
And they're probably about to pay Dak Prescott a ton of money. A ton of money. Hashtag Rise of Skywalker lost money. Well, it sounds like, from what you're saying, it does sound like Rise of Skywalker is not doing so hot, which a lot of us expected. Evidently, those big audience reviews, no one's really going to see it. So, but next day, I guess we can kind of talk about this. The Seahawks are playing the Cardinals. Not much of a threat to the Seahawks. However, the Cardinals have been playing a little better than I think some people thought. Their record doesn't necessarily indicate it. They're 4-9-1, but they've been in a lot of games late. Kyler Murray has impressed me a little bit. I thought his dude was going to be a total bust. He's so short. I didn't think his body would hold up, but he's been playing all right. He hasn't really turned the ball over too much. He's been good. I think they're probably liking what they're seeing from their number 1 overall pick. That'll
take some time to put that, get the Cardinals back to where they need to be. But yeah, Kyle Murray's, you're right. I agree with you. He's been fun to watch, and he's going to be running around from the Seahawks defense. So we'll see how that'll be a good test for him. I think the Seahawks will win, but all this stuff gives good experience to that young quarterback. For the future. So it's kind of good to watch. Look, anything can happen in the NFL. We all know that, but it's fun to watch these young guys learn and adapt and try to, get these lessons and stuff. So the next few years of these young quarterbacks, I think they're going to be awesome to watch. So
there's so many quarterbacks like 25 and under right now in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, and they just and we got a lot of like speed, like they can run, like they're coming up with a total package now of like running, passing, and they're big, not like linebacker big, but they're not like they're just bigger. They're bigger boys, man. That could take a hit and just go just like the Ravens quarterback. I mean, all of them. They're fun to watch. They're fun to watch.
Well, now Kyler and Lamar, they're thin guys. That's I think why they had that RG3 build. That's why I think a lot of people are a little worried about how they're going to hold up. But yeah, you're right.
They're taking the hits though, man. That's what I'm saying. Like they're not afraid to use the hit stick. Is that what you call it? We called it the hit stick here, like for Madden. So
oh yeah, you got to flick that right stick. And when you're looking at quarterbacks, I do think it's been talked about for 20 years. Basically, this guy is the next prototypical quarterback, and this guy's the next prototypical quarterback. Meanwhile, you still got the Tom Brady's, you still got the Drew Breeses. Yeah. You still got those guys winning Super Bowls, and
it's weird because you see, you're right. You do see a new style of quarterback coming in. I was thinking more like the Cam Newton style, would the big, athletic, fast, could do it all, would dominate the league. But at the end of the day, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, the pocket passers, are they're still they're still doing it. I mean, Ryan Tannehill, pocket passer.
Yeah.
Oh, he's slow as dirt, man. A guy he can't. Yeah. And he was a wide receiver the first 2 years in college until they decided they're like, he throws pretty well. You want to try? So,
yeah,
we go back to Star Wars. It never fails.
Well, when you think of how this channel was built,
Yeah,
that makes sense. Well, this is a great question. Better career, Mahomes or Lamar Jackson? I don't know.
Mahomes might have it, but
so I have worries about how both of them will hold up. We've seen Mahomes look different this year when he's been a little banged up.
That's true.
He's been struggling with an ankle all year. And he hasn't quite looked the same.
But remember what y'all said that they wouldn't do on the snow. He came out, he did exactly what I said he was gonna do. He's got legs. He came out, he ran the ball, which brought the defense in. They were afraid that he was just gonna keep running in the snow. It opened up, threw the touchdown. He dominated that snow game against Broncos.
I'm just surprised they threw the ball so much.
I was just saying.
I'm surprised they threw the ball so much.
Well, that's what happens. It's like the Broncos came in because they're like, Mahomes is going to outrun us all, or however that is. And then they came in, and which was a dumb idea. They should have played more of a prevent back style, but they didn't do that.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
Tore him up, man. He tore him up. He especially when he ran outside the pocket. The whole defense mentality was snowing. Let's just run in, and left those receivers open. Man, he got them. It was cool to watch.
Yeah, you look at Mahomes. I think Mahomes could go into a lot of different places and be effective. I do think that they have built that offense around Lamar Jackson for him to be successful. I
gotta see one more year with Jackson.
Yeah, me too. I agree. And
because again, I keep bringing up RG3, but he was the second coming.
He tore it up. He tore it up his rookie year until he tore up his knee. Yeah. I remember that. I remember him getting tackled by they were playing the Seahawks. I remember him getting tackled, me cheering as RG3's writhing on the ground in pain. Because I hated RG3. But God, that was. And I remember he tore his ACL, and he didn't even reach out towards the ball that he fumbled. He just dropped the ball.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, you bitch!" That's what I said. But I'm sure if I tore my ACL, I'd probably reach for my knee instead of the ball too. So.
Yeah, I'd probably look really something.
Yeah, but we got one more big game to talk about before we end it here, and that is the Monday night game. So this is coming up tomorrow night. It's going to be Packers and Vikings. We're looking at the NFC North. The Vikings do still have a chance if they win out. They can take that crown. This is a big part of that. Packers could potentially go from number 2 seed to number 5 or to number 6.
Yeah.
That's a big swing for them over these next couple games. So NFC's mostly set. Like we said, it's just Philly still vying for a spot.
Yeah.
It'll either be Philly or Dallas, but there's still a lot of repercussions, things that can happen. This is at Vikings. We know how Kirk Cousins performs in the big games under the spotlight and over his career. How do you see this game playing out?
I want I can't stand Green Bay.
Well, and important to remember, Dalvin Cook is going to be out. Dalvin Cook is out. So it's going to either be Madison or who's the third string guy there? Mike Boone. Who I hope it's Mike Boone because I picked him up as my handcuff because I have Dalvin Cook. And I really need a big game out of that running back spot for my fantasy championship.
Man, I'm going to go with the Vikings, man.
Oh, yeah?
Just because I don't like Green Bay. I'm going to go with the Vikings. That's my pick. That's my off-the-wall prediction. The Vikings will figure out a way to win. Expose Green Bay for who they are. They just play well in the cold. And, yeah, I'm going to go with the Vikings.
Yeah, we'll see. It's it's not going to be cold because it's going to be in. I know it's going to be in their dome.
No, but that's what I'm saying. So they play well in Green Bay. They always play well in the cold.
That's true.
But the Packers, so it's like they don't have that luxury.
Yeah, and it is a tough place to go in there and play. The Vikings got their skull chant that they think is so original. Even though there's been soccer teams that have been doing it for years, but it's still tough to trust Kirk Cousins in these big games. Aaron Rodgers hasn't necessarily come up super big in recent years in clutch games like this either, but I do trust him a lot more than I do trust Kirk Cousins.
Agreed.
Especially with Dalvin Cook, who they have been riding on. He has been great for them this year, especially with him gone. I think that the Packers are going to come away with it. If they win, they do clinch the NFC North. So they do have some stuff to play for. They want to wrap up that number 2 seed, get a bye, get everybody healthy. And we'll see. It's going to be tough against that Minnesota defense, but my pick's going to be the Packers. As much as I hate to say it, I'm sure Alex McCarthy's still in chat, but yeah. But yeah, as a Bears fan, it'll be tough, but that's my prediction. But I think that's pretty much it. We covered all the games, the big games that have implications. We obviously didn't talk about
Miami versus Cincinnati.
Yeah, we didn't talk about Miami versus Cincinnati. I think Miami's going to come away with a big win there.
In the toilet bowl, right? Or no, it's the Giants and the Redskins. Aren't they in the toilet bowl?
The Cincinnati is going to take it. I can't imagine them not getting the number 1 pick. But yeah, the Redskins and who was it? Redskins and
the Giants.
Redskins and the Giants. Yeah, they're both 3-10 or 3-11. So Eli Manning's going to get another. I don't think Daniel Jones is healthy. I think it's going to be Eli still, but I'm not sure. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. That game has no relevance. So if you're a Giants fan, hey, there it is. But thanks for those of you guys who joined us. We're just a couple minutes away from kickoff, so we're gonna get ended it here. But thank you again to Jay Drunk 3PO for stopping by. I appreciate you coming out here, helping me hold it down because I would have had to go live by myself if he hadn't come back. So thank you. Man.
It was awesome.
All right. Awesome. Stay tuned for more live streams from Sports Wars. We're gonna start an NBA one throughout the week.
Yes.
Talk about some stuff that's going on week to week in the NBA. So we're definitely looking forward to that.
Again, baseball kicks off in after that's June.
In April.
Yeah. Spring training and all that stuff.
Yeah, well, spring training in February. That'll be February, March. Maybe I'll get to take a trip out there. You never know because I'm pretty close to Arizona.
Well, I live in Florida, so you're in California, so all the spring training stuff comes down here. So
yep. That's true.
I hear it on the news all the time.
So. Yep. But Jennifer Heyer, yeah, I agree. Rodgers he's basically washed up and his ego is out of control. He's still Aaron Rodgers. He's still good, but he's not the greatest quarterback to ever live, like a lot of people have been trying to tell us for the last 10 years. But again, thank you guys. That'll be my last thoughts. Trashing Aaron Rodgers' bitch ass. But have a good one, guys.
Enjoy the game.
Enjoy the games.